guys, welcome back to Smiley Said It. On today's episode, I'm going to talk about a movie that I just actually recently decided to watch, and the film is called Disappearing Acts, which came out in 2000. This movie stars Sanaa Lathan, and it also stars Wesley Snipes. The movie's an adaptation from a book. The book is actually a little bit more detailed as far as what goes on in it, and it is a hard film to get through. This movie was a little bit triggering for me. It was. The struggle of it was never meant for me. Both of them live in New York. Franklin is actually working inside of Zora's apartment and putting down new floors, new wooden floors, shiny, all of it. She has a moving company that has her belongings on a truck and they need to get it off of the truck. Her apartment is not ready just yet. And Franklin notifies her because he's working outside and he's working on the step. Your apartment is not ready for another hour or two. And she's like, oh, I didn't expect this. The people that she hired, they're like, well, we have to put your stuff on the sidewalk then because we gotta go. And she's like, oh no, you can't do that. And they're like, we can though. Our number's on the truck. You can call customer service if you want to.
Who gonna check me, boo?
We have other things to do. We gotta get your stuff off the truck. She then turns to Franklin and is like, oh, I'll pay you if you can help me get all of my stuff upstairs. And he's nice about it. He's like, sure, okay. He gives a little, little smart mouth back. Basically like, how much do I owe you? He's like, oh, so you one of those strong, independent women. It's all right to ask for help. And I'm like, oh gosh, this is a red flag. Don't a woman like you know how to take help from a man? Like, what the fuck does that even mean? That would piss the average woman off. You're the one that said you don't work for free. So I'm offering you money because you helped me. So now you're going to throw it in my face and being like, I'm the independent black woman trope. And why it's problematic as hell when a black man tells a black woman that she's too independent. I'm an adult. I take care of things because I have to. Obviously, I'm going to take care of things on my own. What's the problem with that? I don't know you, so obviously I'm going to not expect for favors because men get upset at women that expect favors to be done for them anyways because we're women. So the moment that we actually say, you know what, I'll pay you for your time, then it's, oh, you're too independent. You're too independent. It's like, no, I'm paying you for your time. Regardless of me being a woman, that has nothing to do with me paying you for your time. But nevertheless, you could tell that they kind of clicked a little bit. What we don't know about Franklin is he's codependent on alcohol. So when you're working in labor and you're not in a contract and you're just picking up work based upon availability, I don't know why you think it's a good idea to get into a committed relationship. You don't have a contract. So they can literally let you go at any day, any moment, which eventually happens. You're going to be guaranteed this amount of work and this amount of pay until this date. And that's how you know that you can start looking for another job in the meantime. But if you're just picking up jobs that pays you based upon the availability, that's not stability. That's just you winging it and seeing what happens. You can't do that when you're dating or in a relationship with someone. That requires your time and resources, especially when y'all are having a child. I get it. Things happen. These two had no business being in a relationship from the get-go. Zora is a musician. She is also a music teacher for children at a school. And that's what she does, full time, which is awesome. I used to love my music teacher when I was in grade school. Shout out to John Marshall Elementary School in Boston. We actually had a swimming pool, an indoor swimming pool in the urban parts of Boston, which was a big deal. That's how I learned how to swim. My principal was Miss Jackson. A lot of us kids, we used to be like, I'm sorry, Miss Jackson. Ooh, I am for real. Randomly, anytime she walked down the hallway, she used to hate it. I would love to visit my old elementary school. I haven't been there since I was a kid. I don't know if they closed or not. I hope not. Franklin eventually stands Zora up because he was supposed to come back and finish a job or whatever. And he stands her up and pretty much goes ghost for like a couple of days or so. He's at the bar talking to his friend who owes him money. He tells him like, oh, well, she probably is not really feeling me like that. She probably lost my, contact. She probably forgot about me. So I'm not really tripping. Franklin is a functioning alcoholic. He sells himself up over analyzes things. I already peeped that. This woman doesn't know you. You told her that you were going to come back. Why would she even care to keep you on her radar? Zara felt some type of way because he shows up and she's like, what happened? I don't know why you thought you can come back and act like nothing happened. His charm won her over. When he stood her up, that should have been the last chance she gave him, but she didn't. When you reach a certain age, you don't have time for the shit that he pulled. You just don't. As a woman, you don't. I'm trying to get my new brownstone together. I'm trying to get my demo out here because she's a singer. She's an artist and she's trying to get some studio time. I love me some Q-Tip. So when I seen him in the movie, I was like, my style and my fashion is very similar to Zara, our bohemian chic look. Franklin's charm is only going to work on a woman that is naive. Like, his charm would not work on a woman that has been there and done that. And the fact that Zara had an abortion before and was like, I'm not doing this again, when she was talking to her friends.
Oh, Lord. Again. A fucking again. Nothing new, nothing changed, same old shit. Same old fucking shit.
When she told them, like, hey, I'm pregnant. And they're like, well, is he going to marry you? You know, it's not a commitment if he doesn't marry you. Because he was still married, by the way. He was still legally married. He was separated for 4 years. And then he met her. The fact that he didn't say up front, you know, after the night that they had intimacy, when he showed up on the front steps of her place, randomly, without letting her know, that's another red flag. Why are you showing up to my place, sir? I barely know you.
What's not clicking? What's not clicking?
Just like Zara said, she was like, what if I showed up here with a date? He was like, oh, I would just act like, you know, I was here for somebody else. But she would still be left uneasy with her date, and you know that. So why would... She opens up to him. He's like, why do you, as a single woman, want a big brownstone like this, as expensive as it is? And she's like, I want to put a grand piano in the middle of my place. And to be honest, she didn't even have to tell him that, but she did. And he's like, oh, okay, that's cool. He's been coming over, and of course she's not going to ask him if he has kids or is married, because she doesn't have any kids and she's not married, but he's over at her place hanging out. And here's a mistake that a lot of women make, and men too. If you are a child-free person, she should have asked him, like, hey, do you have kids? Because she clearly was feeling him, if it was a big deal anyways. But still, nevertheless, you want to know that type of information. Are you married, or have you been married? Are you divorced? Are you separated? We're too grown now. It's when you're in your mid-30s and stuff and you start heading towards that 40, you want to ask those type of questions, because of men like Franklin, who's not going to give that information up right away. He's going to be like, oh, you didn't ask me, so I didn't care to tell until right now.
Bitch, you better be joking.
That's manipulation. If you have kids and you're still legally married to somebody, but you still up in another woman's house that have no kids, you should tell her immediately, like, hey, I have kids. Is that a deal breaker for you? Or, you know, I'm still legally married to somebody, but we're separated. We haven't been together in 4 years. How do you feel about that? That's something that you should absolutely tell somebody immediately, especially if you want to pursue them sexually. I don't know why people feel like we don't fucking know a timeline when it comes to that type of information needing to be put to the front. Because I don't want children or to be married, I will let them know, like, right away, I don't want kids. If you desire to have children, I don't. So I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste mine.
Well,
that to me would be the most logical thing to do. The older you get, the more likely someone is going to be a parent or want children. That's just a part of adulthood. If you're someone like me that's child-free, that doesn't want to raise children, I would make it known. But she wanted kids, clearly. She just wanted it with the right person, and he wasn't the right person.
it's not realistic. It's just not realistic.
It is what it is. It happens every day. People lie to themselves, so they lie to the person that they're with in order to get this fantasy going. But you got to be compatible, and those two were not compatible. Immediately, I'm looking at her, and I'm like, you don't seem like the type to date a man like him. Just going through life and no form of, like, substance or accountability, and blames the world for his shortcomings. That's what he played into. She found something in him that she liked, and she he harbored over it and made it seem like he was a man that he wasn't. Zora wanted to love him through it. She wanted to build a man up. She wanted to uplift a black king and make it work, even though off rip he lied to her, was omitting important information about his life. He laid it on her thick too. I don't have a college education. But not only that, I don't even have my GED. But also I have 2 boys. I'm still legally married and we've been separated for 4 years, but I haven't come up with a plan to divorce her because marriage is a contract with the government. So what did y'all put into that contract? If I was Zara, I would have been like, so what did y'all have in that contract? Because if you can't afford to get a divorce, why are you paying off a $200 layaway for my piano? You just met me. Is that your form of love bombing? Because why are you paying off my piano? It was only $200. Nevertheless, it was still something that he could have put towards his divorce or his children, which, by the way, the mother of his 2 children, his ex, was like, you can barely afford to take care of the children that you already got, because he didn't even tell his ex-wife that he was expecting a child with Zara. And when she found out, she brought it to him, was like, how are you going to afford this child and you can barely afford the 2 that you already have with me? That's a reasonable concern. If I was Franklin's ex, I would reach out to Zara and be like, you're doing a mistake. Do not do this. Zara was giving pick me. She was giving, I can build him up. I can change him. He has the potential to be this man that I want to spend the rest of my life with, even though he didn't. He didn't show any of that, those type of signs. I don't know where she got it from. She could have reached out to his ex and would have been like, what happened? How did he treat you? How is he treating your kids? That way I have an idea, an example of what I'm going into. But she didn't do that. When she met his parents, I even looked into the details in the book. His mother was jealous of her. But in the movie, she kind of seemed distant, like, oh girl, you don't know what you get into when it comes to my son. Girl, all right, I guess so. Go ahead, girl. You know what you're talking about. But you don't know what you're dealing with over here. Zara was naive throughout the entire movie. There's so much to break down here. Zara was like, I'm tired of dating men in suits and ties with a big bank account. I just want a man that I can enjoy my time with and da-da-da. One thing about Zara is that she likes to take things to an extreme. It's something called balance. You don't have to date a man that's like white collar, that leaves with his pockets. You don't have to do none of that. But you also don't have to date a bum. You also don't have to date a man that is in between jobs, that don't have stability, and also trying to sell you a dream and is breadcrumbing you and love bombing you. You seem to be the type to be stuck up and not want a man that likes to work, hard and grind and do all this other stuff, but you want a man with money. I would be like, yeah, you're right. I do want a man with money. Why wouldn't I?
Wake the hell up!
Why would I want a broke man? What does that do for me?
I want to know that. Okay. I really want to know.
Exactly. Shut up. When Franklin was waiting in front of her crib and she showed up, she's like, what are you doing here? He's like, oh, I was just waiting for you. Just waiting for you. I would have been like, sir, if you don't get away from my property, like, don't show up to my crib uninvited and I barely know you and I've only probably met you once or twice. Do not show up to my place unexpected. That's a red flag. And she lets him in her crib and they have intercourse. When she opens up the fridge and it's like, do you want Heineken? Do you want this? And he grabs her from behind and starts grabbing her neck and I'm like, ew. That's not sexy to me. I'm sorry. I don't know you, sir. Don't grab my neck. And then when Franklin was like, I wasn't going to be dealing with no woman until I got my business together. You should have had your business together then. If you don't have your stuff together, but you meet someone that is like of quality or someone that is literally your actual match of what you're looking for romantically, but you don't want them to like slip away, I think the best policy is to be honest and say, you are fantastic. You are great. But I do know that you deserve someone that is ready for you, but I'm not. Later on, down the line, if you're still single and when I get my stuff together, if you're still available and we're at a place that we can date, I would love to take you out. I would love to court you, but I can't do that right now because I have this going on. 2 kids, I'm separated, I have child support, I'm barely able to have a job that is stable. Continue living your life. I don't want to stunt you. If it's in our cards to be together, then we're going to be together. If not, we're not. It's the selfishness, the entitlement for me. When it came to Franklin, he wanted to be the victim so bad, even though he's the reason behind a lot of the drama that he caused with Zara. Like, I would never in my life tell a friend, hey, give this man a chance because he has all this. But she wasn't honest with her friends. She didn't say, oh, he was already married, that's why he's not marrying me. Even though he got me pregnant, he's not going to marry me because he's still legally married to somebody else. She didn't tell her friends that. So if she would have told her friends that, I can probably see her friends being like, oh, no. We're going to the clinic, sweetheart.
I don't want to hear all that.
We're going to the clinic. Doubt there's any assets involved. He doesn't really own much, so I don't know what is dragging the divorce out. I'm pretty sure it's not that expensive where you couldn't have done it 4 years ago. But okay, some people don't feel the need to rush into a divorce until they meet somebody. But to me, I feel like it should be the opposite. If I wanted to divorce somebody to the point where I have 2 kids with them, but we're not even together or seeing eye to eye, if it's that bad, where we can't be together, I want that divorce to be fast. I want it to be done. I will work my ass off in order to pay for my attorney fees to get that shit done and over with. That way I can move on with my life. I don't want to have the government involved in my personal relationships. You get what I'm saying? Because that is a contract that you have with the government when you're married. That's all it is. When Franklin was like, I don't come across women like you every day. What type of women are you talking about? Women that tolerate your nonsense? I would have asked a question. Well, like, what do you mean by that? Like, what type of woman are you referring to that you don't come across every day like this? I'm just a regular, everyday woman that's living my life according to how I want to see fit and just going about my day. I'm not doing anything spectacular, really, you know, according to what he knew so far about her. And I'm thinking like, oh, you mean the woman that sees your true ways, your manipulation tactics, your lies, the women that see through you? And that's when I knew the type of man that Franklin was. I've met plenty of men like that, unfortunately, of all races. Men that like to do the love bombing. Oh, well, I never met a woman like you before. By the way, I am that girl. I am pretty unique. Not unique in the sense that there's not any other woman out there like me. What I'm saying is you're not going to meet women like me on a regular basis. You're just not. Well-traveled, been to 39 countries, some of them more than 4 times. I've been all over the world. I've been all over the place. I've walked into rooms with celebrities and shook hands with people that you would never have guessed. Summited mountains. I'm outdoors, man. I've accomplished a lot in my short 34 years of living on this earth. But that's because I focused on myself. And that's because I didn't lose sight of who I am. And I didn't alter or deteriorate the motive that I had for myself just because I was in relationships with men. I stuck true to who I was and who I am. And just because I was in a relationship with a man, I wasn't going to allow him to alter or deteriorate who I am deep inside as a person that likes to be free. You can't place your boundaries onto me and think that I'm just going to be like, okay. No, I'm going to be like, oh, that doesn't work for me. And I'm going to move on. That's the type of person I am. So I hate when men make assumptions about me based upon my accomplishments, especially as a Black woman. For some reason, that's a thing too. There are some men in the Black community that will make assumptions about Black women that are accomplished and automatically label her as like complicated or difficult or someone that quote unquote doesn't need a man. She's done this, she's done that. She don't need a man because she's accomplished this, accomplished that. Yeah, you're right.
Who gonna check me, boo?
Are you intimidated? Do you feel inadequate? And if that's the case, then you should not be near me. I don't want no inadequate man to be around me that feels threatened about my accomplishments as a woman, especially as a Black woman in America. Your way of supporting me is by control. We're not going to be compatible. I've bumped into that too, like men that thought or attempting to be controlled because it didn't make it far at all. The controlling aspect of, well, I want my woman to be this way. I don't give a fuck how you want your woman to be because that's not me. I'm not that girl. Like, I'm not going to subjugate myself to any fucking man. I'm not going to do that. If you are a human being, I'm not going to subjugate myself to you. I don't know what the fuck you think this is. You're not going to pay me enough anyways if I wanted to do that. Like when Franklin was talking to his friend and he was like, oh, she's not like the yappy type of woman, you know? We actually talk. It's not just all about sex. We actually talk. And in my head, I'm like, I'm really not that different. I'm really probably not that different from your ex. The only difference is I don't know who you are at full capacity to make a judgment or to react based upon who you actually are. The honeymoon stage is what they call it. When you meet someone, everything is all flowers and daisies and great. Their representative is showing up, but not who really they are deep down inside. Their manipulative ways are not going to be at the forefront because that's how they're going to lose you. They're not going to show that they're manipulative or they like to gaslight or to be controlling or be insecure. They're not going to lead with that in the beginning of the dating stage. They're going to show you the best version of themselves. That way they can breadcrumb you. That way that they can leave little crumbs for you to chase after, because in the beginning they told you they were this stand-up person, but they're really not. When you actually really see them for who they are, they go into gaslight you and say, oh, so you didn't know this is who I really was? You knew who I was. And they're gonna literally make you feel crazy as if they didn't manipulate you. They sent a version of themselves that way that you can be like, oh, this is a nice guy. So yeah, why wouldn't I not get to know him? If I knew what it already was, I would have never stepped forward when it comes to you. I would have just continued mind my business and being single. But now that you're showing me who you really are, you want to pick a fight with me for wanting to no longer continue something with you. Ain't that some shit? The night that Franklin came over in the beginning, he was like, I know you've been waiting for me to drop a bomb, right? He was like, I know you've been waiting for me to drop a bomb. You know, because brothers love dropping bombs. And I'm sitting here like, what the fuck are you talking about? So what you're saying is black men as a collective love just dropping bombs and surprising black women with their fuck shit. Because that's pretty much what he was saying. Because, you know, brothers, you know, love dropping bombs. What he tried to do was he wanted to outrace Zora to the point of saying, well, you're not going to hurt me, so I'm going to let myself down. No, you drop bombs. You do that. Make that about you, sir, because that's who I'm dealing with. I don't deal with brothers that do that. So, no, you tell me what's going on with you, because that's how I'm going to move forward. Not how other black men deal with women, according to you. I want you to tell me what type of bomb you're about to drop on me. You spent $200 to pay out her piano that was on layaway when you could have put that money towards your kids. Like, if you know you are behind on child support, or your children that you already have needs those funds, why the fuck are you paying off someone's layaway? That $200 that you pay for that piano could have went towards your divorce fees. Zara mentions later on, what happened with the money that you were saving for your divorce? We can put that towards our family that we have going on right now. He felt offended by that. But at the end of the day, Zara is to blame too, because why the fuck would you get pregnant by a man that already has 2 kids that he's barely able to take care of and still legally married to somebody else, but you wanted to fix him up? I call that a fixer-up bitch. Sorry, I do. Fixing up a man. Black women are shamed severely for not uplifting and building up a black man when she knows her worth. I'm sorry, this might be speaking out of cheek. I'm tired of that trope. I'm tired of the stereotype and the trope that black women have to uplift a man and teach him and work through things and love him through things. I'm not loving no fucking man through shit. I'm sorry, I'm not. I don't believe in the struggle love shit. If you're not already prepared and well at the beginning of the dating stage, I'm not fucking trying to fix you or be patient or wait for you. I'm too old for that shit. I'm only 34. I don't know how these women are doing it out here, but I would not fix a fucking man up. That shit is fucking ghetto.
Too much!
It is. And I already know I'm going to have women in my comments that have fixed men up, that married a man that was down on their luck. Every time I make these comments, I always have black women in the comments, at least a few, being like, well, I stayed by my husband and he got us a house, and I don't give a fuck about you or your husband, sis. I don't care what struggles you thought you would have a turnout over. You gambled with your life. I don't gamble with my life. I'm not gambling with my fucking life over a man. You decided to do that, and if it worked out for you, congratulations. But that's not the case for majority. Majority of women out here that decide to take a gamble over a man, it doesn't turn out well for the most part. That is statistically true. If you're like 21 or 20 years old or some shit like that, I can see it. You know, you can have a little bit of time to waste right there. Not when you're in your mid-30s. Like, ain't nobody trying to fucking build no fucking grown man up. Like, that's crazy to me. He's not equipped. It's called survival of the fittest for a reason. He's not equipped to be a fucking partner. Just because he's a man doesn't mean that he's owed a wife. It doesn't mean that he's owed a helpmate. It doesn't mean that he's owed anything. That man needs to build his shit up, and if he's deserving of a woman, then he'll get one. He's not owed a woman just because he exists. And that was Franklin's mindset. When Franklin told her, I haven't met a woman that made me want to rush the divorce and make it happen. Wait, what? Why do you need a new woman? to come into your life to make you want to have the divorce to happen quickly. As a woman, like, I would feel some type of way. So you're waiting to manipulate a woman in order to get that divorce. I need a woman in order to push me, in order to make me want to separate from the mother of my 2 children. So dollars and degrees means more than what we got going on. I would have been like, it can mean that, but it doesn't necessarily mean that. You're going to make it what you want it to be. Yes, dollars do mean something. I want people to stop acting like money doesn't matter in relationships. Like, it does, especially if you come from a background, if you grew up in a family where finances was always like an argument in the household to the point where it disrupted your nervous system by hearing your parents always constantly arguing, yelling about money and bills. Yeah, you don't want to take that into your relationship if you can help it. Like, you don't want to make money the main focus or the main center of your problems when it comes to relationships, because you need money to sustain a relationship. Tina Turner said it best. What's love got to do with it? Love can't pay the bills. Love can't sustain a lifestyle. It can only guide it. You need money. It's one thing to struggle when you're single, especially when you're child free. You can do whatever the fuck you want to do. You can crash on somebody's couch. You can live out of your car without disrupting anybody else's lifestyle. But when you want to date and you're broke, you don't have a consistent income, the gender role, I'm a man, I'm supposed to provide, I'm supposed to lead, but you can't do it. You ain't got no money. So how are you leading or protecting or guiding anything? But yet you want her to rest in her femininity, but when she wants to work her ass off, that way she can get her demo out there with Q-Tip and get in the studio, which she can't afford to pay for studio time because it is very expensive by the hour to pay for a studio time, shit. And then you get her knocked up, and then you want to say, oh, well, I'm not the center of your world no more. I don't matter no more to you. No, you don't, sir. The child does. Your son with her is the important part of everything. Her trying to balance her career and take care of the child and you. Men that get jealous of their own fucking child having the attention over them is so fucking sick to me. But that is the patriarchy for you. You can't get upset that the attention is no longer on you. You now have a kid, sir. A new kid. Your 3rd child. This is her 1st child. And you over here fucking talking about, oh, so now it's about your demo and your girlfriends and going out to LA. But where am I in that? Where am I in that? Go find a fucking place, sir, to matter. Make your life matter for you. Why are you putting that all on her to be the one responsible for your happiness in order for her to sustain her happiness while being a new mother and trying to be an artist on top of that? For a studio session that she can barely afford because she's taking care of you and trying to make sure that you are stable in your career that you don't have right now, that you're trying to have a stable income, get your GED. I said, the fucking nerve of this man. I said, what is this? I said, I know what this is. This is black love, struggle love, honey. This movie is a great representative of what the fuck struggle love is. So because I fell short in life, how dare you not want me because of it? How dare you as a woman not hold your man down because we share the same race? How dare you not want to hold your king down while I fucking disrespect you and keep you from succeeding? How dare you not support me and stick by my side? That's that whole fucking mentality that I would never, ever, ever support. I've known plenty of Zoras in my life. I was in foster care. I could have easily fell for the trap that she did. I was a ward of the state. Once I turned 18, I'm like, what am I going to do with my life? And it did not involve a woman's son hindering my life. When she met his parents and she was all up on him like, we're going to get him together. His mother was like, I already know what the fuck it is. His father was all happy. Like, oh, you got a good woman that's going to hold you down. Yeah. He was all smiling like, yeah. If that's the type of man you want to fix up, my son, who I don't even respect myself, go ahead and fix him up, girl. And when he was like, you haven't heard a word I said, did you? I was like, who the fuck are you talking to? You wanted every excuse you got to get out of this. No, you made it this way. I didn't need a reason or an excuse to get out of the relationship. You made it this way by your deception, omitting important information from me. You were the liar. You can't gaslight me and make it my problem or my fault that the relationship is ending because I chose to choose me over you. I'm gonna choose me every time. You're a functioning alcoholic. You're manipulative. You feel sorry for yourself. I'm not going to feel sorry for you. I'm going to take my ass and go on with my child. And when you get your shit together, but we're not together ever after this. Me speaking from a pro-choice perspective, I would have never had that child if I was her. I would have continued my career. I would have broke up with him. I know she resented him at the end, but it was like, girl, you didn't even have to go that far. You didn't even have to get pregnant by this motherfucker. It happens. I could see how Zara fell into the trap that she fell into, but at the same time, there was so much opportunity for her to self-correct, and she also had two friends that were in her ear saying like, hey, like, he's not gonna marry you, and you should have been like, yeah, that's because he's already married. But she wasn't honest with her friends, and she wasn't honest with him either. She suffered from seizures, and she didn't tell him right away because she's like, whenever this happens, I scare people away. If you suffer from a medical condition, you should tell your partner. That way they can decide if they want to continue dating you or not. That is a deal breaker for some people. She meets his kids, and it's cool, it's cute. This is unnecessary. All of it. That whole movie was just unnecessary. But a lot of people that are in these dynamics, these so-called relationships, are unnecessarily bonded together, and it didn't have to end this way. He quits his job because he just wasn't getting consistent work. And then he picks up another job where it's more union-based, and woe is me. It's everybody's fault. The women out here that are just not understanding of a man's struggle. You know how it goes. The moment that Franklin opened up his mouth, I would have known immediately. I'm like, oh, this is not my type of guy at all. You're literally the walking stereotype of a faulty man. Why would I want to settle for that? I don't have to. Walking backwards in life for another individual to be a part of your life moving forward is the most stupidest thing that you can ever fucking do. You don't want to do that shit. That is for the birds. Those are for the people that lack social awareness. Those are the people that have not did the inner work for themselves to understand that you cannot demand a better person if you're not a better person for yourself, because nobody has to sit around and tolerate your woe is me, your victimhood, or none of that shit. Nobody has to stick beside you. You should figure that shit out first before you try to build your community, including your own fucking new family. And I'm mad at Zara. Like, women like Zara, I no longer feel sorry for, because he showed you the red flags right before you decided to make your own red flags with him. You are a red flag too, girl. When she was like, well, I'm not one of these other desperate women. You are. When they were in a confrontation where he was like, there are some women around here that would love to be with a man, that would need a man, da-da-da-da. Well, you go find that desperate woman, but you are the desperate woman, sis, that he's looking for. And he got you. He got you pregnant at that. So you are the desperate woman that you're trying to shame when it comes to trying to shame him, because y'all are two in the same boat. Basically, you made yourself that way. You didn't have to be. You could have literally let him go on his way when he stood you up the first time. When they were at the takeout, when she went to get the takeout food at the Chinese spot and he went back to her place, I would have been like, you're not eating my food, sir, let alone getting into my panties. Like, what is this? I know that there are still women out here that are just as desperate as Zara is. And they're going to look at you or women like me that have standards and know better. Like, we're the fucking ones that are giving up on our kings or giving up on our men. They're not our men. Just because we share the same race does not mean that every single black man is my man or potentially my man or a part of my community even. They're still fucking men in a patriarchy. And I never forget that. As someone that's dated interracially, and men are men. It don't matter about the race at the end of the day, because they still have a privilege over you as a black woman. You're still a woman. Those type of men like Franklin are going to look at you like the helpmate that you are, that you want to sign up for, that wants to be babied and altered to his manhood of his purpose. If a man is not already living in his purpose when he meets you, what the fuck are you doing entertaining him?
Y'all be weak in the knees. Stand up! Stand up!
Like, why would you carry out a full pregnancy with a man that is still legally married to somebody that has two other kids that he's not financially able to take care of, and y'all just gonna fucking make it work? And he was like, yeah, we'll make it work. You're not gonna kill my baby, are you? First of all, it's not a baby. Second of all, it's not a baby that you're killing. Third of all, she's the one that has to carry it to full term. Fourth of all, she has to give up her dreams and goals and put them on hold, if not forever, because of you, who doesn't have an income or financial stability to take care of the son while she goes out to the studio to sell her demo, to sell it around and get on the radio. That way y'all can really make some money. But no, you wanted to make it about you, Franklin. You wanted to be the center of her life. You wanted to be the center of, she needs to put down what she's doing to uplift you and your degeneracy. And when it comes to an income, you wanted her to fucking uplift you and build you up. And she was a sucker enough to do it. Her father should have smacked the shit out of him. But when they were at the hospital, her father was way too nice. You gotta step up and be your man. No, smack the shit out of him. Smack him. You gonna knock my daughter up and you're not even well equipped to take care of her? He's drunk on the job, falls off the ladder, he loses his job, and then wants to be mad at the world and turns back to drinking. He ruined the refurbished furniture that he fixed up. If you're child free or childless, you're single, you're beautiful, you're talented, you have a brownstone fucking home, and you decide to date a man like him, I don't know, there's something off there. You know, yeah, people can be like, oh, well, just because you're struggling don't mean that you're not a good person, or just because you got the no. It's time for women, especially black women, to stop dating down, but also stop being shamed for not wanting to date down. If you're educated and you got a master's degree and all this other stuff, no, you should not fucking be dating a felon. No, you should not be dating a man that works at McDonald's. And if you just so happen to date a man that works at McDonald's when you have a master's degree and making over six figures, I hope he's at least a manager. I don't believe in dating down in 2026. Sorry. Not for black women, no. If you are so race loyal where you're not going to date men of different cultures, ethnicities, and races because you so badly want this black man, good luck, sis. I'm not saying that there aren't out there. I'm not saying that there aren't good black men out there. The movie ended where he got his GED. Zara did not take him back. So that's a good thing. Franklin should have gotten his shit together for him. This is a message before I end this video. Do not get your shit together because you just met someone new that you liked. Do not get your shit together because you all of a sudden want to change the dynamic of your family. Do not do something out of the cost of other people giving something up. You should want to do that for you. You should want to be a better person because you are a better person and you want to be that for yourself. And then everything else follows after that. Franklin was trash. Franklin had no business being in any type of relationship, romantic relationship with another woman. A lot of men like Franklin love a woman like her. Men like Franklin loves trying to humble a Zara and want to bring her down. A man like Franklin wants to neg, okay? And I've dealt with men like Franklin. Not to that severity, but close enough to know exactly what I'm looking at. When I seen this movie, I was like, oh, I already know exactly what time Franklin is on. And I already know what type of time women are on that gives Franklin the excuses over and over again, which is why he's the way he is. The reason why Franklin was audacious with Zara was because there were women in his past that gave him the out. There were women that let Franklin do whatever the fuck he wanted to do. And so he thought in his mind, oh, if I get with a Zara, she's going to, break barriers for me. She's going to be understanding because the women in my past were understanding. If she's not understanding, she's one of those uptight, independent black women that I don't like.
Stupid.
Anybody that knows a Franklin knows exactly the way he was talking. I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm like, he's one of those, like, never have stability, never have their own place, always getting kicked out of their apartment buildings because they're bringing in S workers, or the way that he was talking, I'm like, he's not someone that is stable. She's like, yeah, I'm gonna love you. I need somebody to comfort. I need someone to grow with. I need someone. Like, no, you don't, girl. Like, you were fine just on your own. It's okay to have fun. It's okay to date around and go out to eat and have a nightcap or two. But you do not need to move a man into your place in order to make it serious. Stop moving men into your homes. You don't have to move him in. Y'all can have your two separate homes and places and get together and have dinner and go to the movies. And you can have a nightcap. You can invite him over. Give each other an opportunity to miss each other. Why do people always have to be underneath each other? Y'all don't have to do that. But one of the reasons why this dynamic didn't work was because you had one man that was completely unstable, and you had a woman that wanted to fix a man up to make him her whole, but he wasn't whole at all for himself. So he couldn't be a whole person for her. When the baby got here, he was like, oh, he wet his Pampers. You gotta change it. While she's in the kitchen fixing up the food. Like, you're right there. Why not change the diapers? To me, I don't understand why women allow their male partners to just sit on the couch and just not contribute to the household or contribute to the raising of their children or child. Men should be able to change the diapers. Men should be able to feed their children. Men should be able to clean up around the house while the woman is sleeping and getting rest. If you're not dealing with a partner that can't do any of these things, what the fuck are you doing? As a woman, why would you procreate with a man that will not help you with your child? He was there as well. He helped procreate. Why would he not change diapers? Why would he not feed the baby? Why would he not clothe and give the baby a bath? Like, why would it be only up to you to do that? You might as well be a single mother that goes to the sperm bank, takes care of business, and be a single parent by choice. If that's the case, without having to deal with a male child that throws tantrums and goes around being like, what about me? What about me? What about me? And not help in the household. What the fuck are y'all doing? But yet, a lot of Black people had a problem with Ebony K. Williams opting out of marriage twice. She's divorced and getting into a relationship just to be left a single mother anyways. So she said, you know what? Fuck this shit. I'm going to be a single mother intentionally because I have support, I have a community, and I have the funds to do so. And I don't need a man. I know one woman personally that did the same thing that Ebony K. Williams did, which was intentionally become a single parent with the right resources and the right support. They're doing just fine. It's the women that set their lives up around a man that is not doing fine compared to women that set their lives up around a man and not having a man involved at all are doing just fine. But again, the patriarchy, Christianity is going to tell you that you need a man in your life to be completed. But we already know that not to be true. If your life is completed because of a man, yeah, I guess so. You can say that he's helped your life be better, but Zora's father should have never been as patient with Franklin as he was. When Zora had the baby and the father was at the hospital and pulled him to the side and was like, you got to take care of business, I would have socked him in his mouth right then and there if I was the father. Because you're treating my daughter like this. For my ladies to not settle or try to build another man up, you do not have to do that. You can enjoy your singlehood. You can be child free and enjoy your single womanhood. I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care, peace, love, and happiness. Bye.